mighty dwarf kingdoms, long thought diminished, are resurgent under their high king.
Hello and welcome to another Total War Warhammer guide. Today we are looking at Thorgrim Grudgebearer, one of the legendary heroes of the Dwarf Empire, on his throne with his poor 4 dwarf warriors carrying him around. He's a bit of a lazy bastard, and he's got a book to read. A bit of 50 Shades or something like that. I don't know. It's in Dwarfish. Maybe a translation. Right, let's talk about Thorgrim Grudgebearer. We're going to go through his stats and his attributes, his special skills, and then we're going to talk about how I'd use him in battle. So first thing to note is that he's armoured and he's a melee expert. As you'd expect from these legendary heroes, very highly armoured, and he fights like a demon. He's got 4,125 hit points, which is, even for a hero, that is a very high amount of hit points. He's got a massive amount of armour, 120. Leadership is also high. Speed is dwarf slow. All the dwarfs are pretty slow, especially when you're carrying around a big fat one. He's got a melee attack of 50, but the difference with this as opposed to normal is that he does magic damage, which is really, really helpful. Against certain units especially. It's not great against other dwarf enemies because obviously a lot of dwarf units have that magical resistance, but it's really good to know. It means if you're going up against undead and some of their units that are ethereal, that this is really helpful for going against them because you'll rip through them. Next up, melee defense of 60, which is really fantastic. He's got a weapon strength of 450, 290 weapon strength and 160 armor piercing. Very nice indeed. Not much of a charge bonus. He's on a throne. It's not really a chariot. It's kind of just a deck chair on dwarfs. So let's look at his special skills as we just pan around for no apparent reason. He's got missile resistance 15%, as all individual characters has. He's got magic resistance 25%, as a lot of dwarf units and characters have. They don't like magic. They use runes. They don't use magic, and so they've protected themselves against it. He's obviously a leader, so he gives a boost to leadership units around him. So I'll look at the High King last. First off, we've got Deadly Onslaught, which... these are all the leader skills have this, which is an augment, 10 seconds, cast on self, charge bonus, armor piercing damage, and 18% bigger. It's okay, it's free, so you might as well use it every 45 seconds, but it doesn't really suit him. He's not a chariot, he doesn't charge that well, so the vigor's quite nice if you need it, if you're getting a bit tired. Next up we've got Foe Seeker, which is another buff, charge bonus, speed and vigor. The speed is okay if you're trying to get somewhere a bit quicker, but other than that it's not fantastic. Then obviously the big one that the legendary heroes and lords have is the Stand Your Ground, which is a cast on yourself, lasts for 11 seconds, gives a decent boost to leadership, and it also gives a massive boost to melee attack and melee defense. So Every unit within 40 meters gets that bonus. Absolutely fantastic spell. Use that when the main two armies clash. And the special skill for Thorgrim is that he's got a passive, a constant around him, himself. And so we can read it. So it says, target is around self. So the effective range of this is 250 meters. So pretty much your whole army, as long as you're anywhere near the middle. And it's disabled if your leadership is high. So if you're getting a little bit low on leadership, then it will stop being happening. But so it's really useful in tough fights. That's what I'm trying to say with me spitting out my words, dribbling out my words. So this is fantastic if it's a close battle, especially because the effects are +8 melee attack, +4% charge bonus, and makes your units immune to psychology. Remember, so it works when your leadership is not high. So when you must have been in a tough fight, then it must be a close battle. The fact that you can then make your units immune to psychology is just fantastic. Obviously the charge bonus of the melee attack is helpful, but 250 meter radius, this thing is impressive. And it's a passive, so you don't have to do anything with it. It just happens. So this character, we're just going to chat about how you'd use him in battle while we go and send him in against some poor little Bretonian men. So obviously the biggest benefits of using this character is his passive that encourages boost the leadership. The Stand Your Ground is huge and very important, and also his High King ability is also important. All of those spells he needs to meet in amongst his own troops. So I would have this guy, he's very tanky, high armor, decent damage. I would have him front and center of my army, right in the central point. Like, so important that he's there. Once the armies clash, you can use him to wipe out units. He's got a decent sort of area of attack. He hits a number of units in the set in one swing, so that's good for taking down infantry. But one of the big things to notice is that there's certain units in the game, like the ethereal units of the vampire counts, that have that 75% resistance. Then magic attacks are going to be really helpful. Let's get him into fight, shall we? Come on, quickly. He's a dwarf. I need Benny Hill music. Benny Hill music. It'll probably get copyrighted claimed. Okay, no Benny Hill music. There we go. So as we see, it's not the greatest charge in the world. There's no spiky bits on his deck chair, but it still does a decent amount of damage. And although sort of trapped by these spearmen, he will rip through these pretty quickly. As you can see, he's already done a decent amount of damage. He's just going to keep swinging. He doesn't look like he has much of a reach, but apparently he can still hit them. It's not the best animation unit model I've seen in the game. Obviously, it's pretty hard to do, to have him actually hitting people while he's on there, unless you make his axe massive. So like I said, how you use him, front and centre, main part of your battle line, dishing out damage, maybe going after those ethereal units with his magic weapon and stuff like that. I've got a magic weapon. Right. Pointless. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little mini guide to Thorgrim. He's a very fun character to use. He's no Ungrim Iron Fist, but he'll do. He's decent. Thank you very much, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.